First question is coming from me from Ho Chi Minh City. My CEO does not want to invest in cloud. What I should tell him to invest on cloud? Even our data center is out of warranty, almost our all equipments.
So I think the answer is already, you have answered your own question, because if you put it on prem and you're using old equipment that's outdated without warranty, I think you're exposing your data to greater danger than putting onto the cloud. Actually, if you want to convince your CEO, there are plenty of case studies available in the internet. You can go and search for case studies for migration. Why big organization trust the cloud and put their data on cloud. Right? Your CEO, if you don't even think that the big organization CEOs are that stupid, right? I mean, if they can run a huge organization, I'm sure they have done their homework and the calculation, and also they have done a study before they put their data onto the cloud. So the way to convince is, of course, through use cases. Other people have done it, so you don't need to reinvent the wheel and try to convince with your own case. Right? There are lots of examples that you can cite, and also to convince a CEO, you really have to first talk about the current situation in your organization, why the cloud is even more secure than what we have. I think that's most convincing.
Thank you, Alex, for sharing. So look, Alex actually gave you a pretty fantastic answer and pretty much well covered. So for me, you could do a little bit of impact analysis. Do an impact analysis about showing that if it stays right now, what it is, and if it's, what are the losses company can get. First, can lose the whole data because you have no warranty. It can goes down at any time, and you will not be able to recover it because you even probably don't have a maintenance contract anymore. Number two is about reinvest. So if you reinvest the all equipments into the cloud, it's going to be huge amount of capex cost. So talk about that number, and then you're going to talk about the losing the data of how much valuable it is. Partner with marketing team and different other departments. Tell them how valuable is the data, and then they will give you the inputs, and then you present it. And like the way Alex say that, bring different case studies where other people already did the case study, and you represent all of them together, and that will convince him. Well, he probably not switch on about this one, but be patient. Don't give up too early. Come up, represent again and again, and every time you represent, your presentation is going to get better because you're going to do more study, and it's going to be more clear to the executive board, like CEOs, and they will invest, and which is good for you too, because when you're repeating the same thing, you're going to get better because you're going to learn how to do it better too as well. So it's also a learning journey for you. Probably you never did it before, and so maybe your first presentation is suck. Let's realize that one, and then you do multiple time improving your own presentation. It will be much more clear, and it will be much more understandable for business people like CEOs to agree on with you.
Okay, maybe John, I will just add one more point.
Please.
Most CEOs understand dollar and cents. Yeah, dollar and cents. So if you're going to give a presentation about cloud versus on-prem, just go down to the cost of storage of each megabyte of your data, how much it costs on-prem and how much it costs on cloud. And also don't forget, the cloud is very scalable. So whenever you want to expand, are you going to buy another set of equipment or another big storage, you on-prem, or you can just go to the cloud service provider, give me another few gigabyte or terabyte.
Thank you, Alex. That's a very good point. And the last thing I just want to add, you should solve this problem as soon as possible. Otherwise, you will be in a serious problem at any time. And you are at a serious risk right now because your data center is out of date and it can go down at any time. And next morning or next evening or next night could be a nightmare. So my suggestion is you start working on it immediately with your all force. because you need to upgrade your data center or move to the cloud, and that's the only way. You have depreciated the whole data center because it's already out of life cycle, so it's time to reinvest. And now it's your CEO to go to agree with you. You want to invest on a capex model, on an opex model, and that's the only way. There's no other way. You cannot go behind the time, and your business needs to stick, right? Your business cannot be collapsed. So this is one of the things I just wanted to add. So with that one, I'm going to move to the next question about. It's coming from Hoan from Hanoi. Our company got hacked. We lost the information of the employees. Now, what is your suggestion to recover those information? I mean, what we could do so we could limit the spread of this information out in the market. Bad luck. They're in a mess already, Alex.
Yeah, I think the greatest fear of any organization is loss of data. Data that is lost is not recoverable and being misused. So remember the World Trade Center 9/11 event when the 2 aeroplanes flew into the World Trade Center. Thousands of companies went out of business. Why? Simply because they lost all their data. Data could not be recovered. We're not even talking about data security. It's talking about total loss of data. So whatever it is, whether you're on-prem or on the cloud service provider, you definitely still have to practice disaster recovery, backup of your data. Especially today, we are exposed to a lot of ransomware. In the ransomware, they lock up all your data and then they say, pay me 1,000 Bitcoin, then I will unlock your data. But if you have a backup and you just have maybe a few hours loss of data, you can easily recover from your backup. It's one way to overcome ransomware. So actually, disaster recovery, backup, and business continuity are all part of information security.
So Hoan, on this one, you are in a really big problem. So you have lost all the employees' information, and now you want to recover. I don't know the number of the employees you have in your company. Maybe if it's less than 50, you can easily recollect this information and start to protect. But if you have probably more than 500 employees, then it's a big problem, because in that situation you are it's going to be tons of work for you to get this all employee information back. You're lucky that you have not lost the information of your customers, so probably you will not be going out of the business, but now you still expose your all employee information is exposed to the market. So partner with HR and partner with other departments heads and start recollecting the information as soon as possible. When it's already out there, try to go to top 5 hacked website. Maybe some of the time hackers actually post over there too. So if you go 10 to 15 top hack website data, it's actually, if you just Google it, you'll find them, and then you can go for 15 to 20, and then you can, if you may find that over there. But however, those files are often encrypted and have some kind of Trojan included too. So you got to be very careful, and you need to extract it from somewhere else, and you have to really look into it too, which is still very risky actually. So that is one of the thing is, by just recovering the data from the organization, you recover inside your organization. It's much more safer. It's going to be more work, but it's much more safer. And number 2, so now you lost all the information, so you're getting all the information back. So now one tips is for you is you have to probably recreate the employee email again, or probably you already have it, but all the employee email addresses has already been leaked out because you see employee information go out. So maybe you can restructure the email structure as well too. So that is why the previous all email addresses will not be valid anymore. You will be difficult for other people to send email to you as well, but you can install some kind of mails check box So whenever it send it to your old email, it can stay in a box. Somebody need to be checked primarily, approved it, and then it can be sent it to inbox. I just don't want to mention those names of this application, but those kinds of application exist. Just Google around and find one of the tool, and then you can integrate it with your email server to do that. So that means when you recreate your email addresses with a different structure of the email address, connect it with the previous one, deactivate the previous one, but when the previous one, but the outside, your customer, other partners, maybe they will still sending you the email addresses to that particular employee. So it will go to the sandbox first, manually verified, and then it will deliver to inbox. And if you run it for a few months, 6 months, and then you can decommission that again, then everybody knows what is the right email address already. If you don't want to invest time on this one, so another way is about you just simply create the new email address. Simply just block other domain email addresses to all employees. Just keep the email addresses open to accept email from outside the domain for HOD, sales, marketing, CEOs, and leadership people only. The rest of the employees actually doesn't communicate a lot outside the organization. Their main communication is inside the organization. So you can just simply disable their access, email receiving outside the domain. So that is one of the way. If you run it for 6 months, so there is so even the email address outside, there will not be a lot of chaos coming out and spam and other things, because those spammers or Trojan email, whatever that comes to you, they will be blocked. But more importantly, you may keep receiving emails from different sources for your all employees having some virus embedded inside it, which they will tell to download and install to your computer, and you don't want it to have it, right? So blocking outside email addresses outside the domain is one of the easiest way, but also effective way. But I told you, you need to remember the people who really interact outside, you need to train them, probably doing workshops or in videos, so they don't do it. They don't get into a trap, because they are still open to receive email address. So that was my quick tips. Alex, do you want to add?
Yeah, can I just add? Losing employee data is very painful, and all that. Your competitor get hold of all the correspondence, and well, if you lose the customer data, that is 1,000 times worse, right? Because you are liable for legal suits and all that. Even more costly to your organization. Yep. Therefore, let that be a lesson. Losing employee data, painful, but as John has said, can be recreated. You just have to tell all your customers that from now onwards, the domain name has been changed, and so this is our new email address. But losing customer data, that is, well, people go out of business because they lose customer data.
Absolutely, there is a lot of example out there, guys. So please secure your data. So and it should not be your customer, but that's the worst. There's a lot of incident happened last 2 years. Big companies like Toyota got hacked. Their information, so customer information was being leaked out from Bangkok, Ho Chi Minh City, and Australian office. So you don't want it to be like that. Toyota was really big, and they have business all over the world, so they could survive. They haven't lost all of it. But if you are a medium or SME or national level company, that will hit you very bad. Even Toyota was been miserable. With that, I want to move to the next question on this one. The question is coming from Jack from Cambodia. So I want to know about how trustable are the SaaS product. Nowadays, the SaaS product is consuming our client information, personal information, employee data. How much we can really believe them? There is a lot of famous SaaS product like Oracle or even and Salesforce are doing through SaaS model. What's your view about it? SaaS
Are we
product.
calling it software as a service, right?
Yes.
SaaS product, yeah. Software as a service actually means the application is on the cloud. So it's the same thing that we are talking about the whole evening. Yeah, it's the security of the cloud. So, but good thing is application that sits on the cloud, they are contained within their own domain and we call it containers, right? So yeah, the exposure that you have, I mean, that software as a service that you subscribe to will not be able to access the other data that you have in the other application. So they are all separated and contained. So software as a service is the thing to go. Unfortunately, I mean, there are lots of this software coming, and if you say you want to cut down capex costs, right, then software as a service. It's not only software as a service. We have infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, security as a service. So all these are the cloud applications, and rest assured, they are very secure because being used by many big corporations around the world. But of course, if somebody sell you something, you must always do homework. As John has said, always do your homework, find out the background, check with other users before you jump right in.
Yeah. So with you, Jack, I just wanted to add. I think Alex was been very to the point to you guys. So SaaS is where you are putting your data. In SaaS model, you don't own the software. You don't owns the system as well too. It's on the cloud. All you owns then access as a license space, right? So this is where as soon as the license expired, basically everything gone. You still have the data. You can still access those data, but so that is why you have to be very careful about which one. So Alex was previously mentioning about when you want to go for cloud, you check about their credentials, what are the policy they use, check with different associations how credible they are. You need to look on those things as well too, because you're talking about this cloud as well too. So you mentioned about Oracle and Salesforce. Yeah, those are very well reputed one. But you need to have a legal bindings with them. When you want to start to work with them, Oracle and Salesforce will never work directly with you. They will give you a partner to work here because their model is about B2B, B2B. So BBB. So they have a partner they're going to execute with you. So you got to be very careful to work with that partner to make sure that you have a legal bindings with your partner so that your data can be secured and you can always hold accountable into it too. And again, like Alex said, that work with the reputable one. The raising one or unknown one have no credentials and they will bring you to dark, probably in dark problem. So reputation is one of the key things. So and see that who are the previous clients and so on. All right, viewers, we're actually going to last part of this thing. We probably take one more questions. So if you have your questions, go ahead and comment below. And from my side, I'm gonna looking into it, which is the good questions. All right, we got a question from males, which is pretty exciting. So the question is coming from Jung from Ho Chi Minh City. I found up a company and I got a 55 staff. I'm pretty confused about choosing my mail server because my mail is my business communication. So I have options from Microsoft and also have Google as well too, but the local mail provider are way too cheaper. So I'm kind of confused, should I go for local or keep paying for more expensive this Google or Microsoft? What's your view about this, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, there's in Chinese, because I'm Chinese, it says 一分钱一分货. That means what you pay is what you get, right? If you want to get cheap, I mean, you don't expect a good service and secure service. All these Microsoft Office 365, Google Mail, and the millions of users, and we all entrust. Even myself, I'm using Office 365, I'm using Google Mail. They're all cloud applications. Yeah. And now, organizations like the Cloud Security Alliance, they exist. Why? To help users. We are not here to help the companies. We actually come up with standards to govern the cloud service provider so that they are secure. So that ISO, International Standard Organization, also come out with a lot of standards to govern the cloud service provider, because these guys, they make money from us. We want to hold them accountable. All right. So there are a lot of standards to govern them. There are a lot of audits done on them. So that's why they can afford to charge a bit more, because they are really giving you quality product. Yeah. But however, no matter how good it is, a product, there will always be instances of downtime, right? The other day, Gmail was down for a while. But the fact is, they have very good backup and recovery procedures. And none of my data was lost, even though there was an outage. So if you trust your local service provider, well, you pay for what you get. That's my answer.
Thank you, Alex. I think it's Alex mentioned about the Chinese codes. I think this is pretty much correct for you, Jung. So Jung, it's about you may want to save $2 or $3 per mail, and then you just multiply that $3 multiply your 5 users. So it's how much you're saving? $160 a month. So $160 a month. And now you think about, do you want to put yourself in a risk for $160 a month? And now you may say that I don't want, so you should go for a proper reputable one than a local one. Number 2, now you may say that, oh John, I'm gonna go to a 1,000 employee, and then this the $3 will become $3,000, and then I'll be paying a lot. So in this one, look, Jung, if you think this point for you that you have not grown to $1,000 yet, 1,000 employee yet, so that's why you could think about this point, because you have not gone to 1,000 employee. Because the day you go become 1,000 employee, a staff in your company, $3,000 will not be nothing, because your revenue and stream and your turnover of monthly will be so big compared to $3,000. You will not even see it. It's like a 0 point some. Several zeros, and then it's a 1. So don't be freaked out about the future. Right now you're paying $160 extra, but I just don't want to tell you that go for Google or MS Microsoft. But I would say to you that with $160 with your 55 employees has a great promise, because I understand that you've grown to 55 means you have some promise inside of your business model already. So now you wanted to compromise with that promise of your business growth for $160 or not? I just wanted to ask you this question, and you are the business owner, you are the CEO, and you make the decision.
Okay.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you very much for joining the show, and I think it has been a great talk about cybersecurity, and I love that hearing you again. And it has been a very passionate talking to you. Alex, do you want to share something to the viewers before we wrap up?
So there is no end. I mean, we can talk another 10 hours, and then I will still not finish everything about cybersecurity.
Yes.
So it is so important an issue that the CEOs, even board of directors, even take it very seriously now, because loss of information to a company is not only subject to legal suit and the loss of your customer confidence in you, but it also damages your reputation. Reputation loss is to a company is very, very detrimental. I mean, companies do well because they have a reputation. So cybersecurity is a continuous process. It's not, okay, now we have everything sorted up, we have implemented the best solution, then okay, I can sleep well. But it's an ongoing process, because whatever new thing that you implement, the bad people, the hackers, they will have something even more advanced, and then you have to continually counter them. So it's a continuous process. For 30 years, I've been doing information security, and I will not say I have mastered it. Okay. There are so many things now, because it have gone into so many sophistication, that's why it's become a multi-million or billion-dollar business. So take it very seriously. You can never have too much security. It is how you have to measure your investment in security versus your revenue, of course. I mean, you put everything into cybersecurity, then your company go bust. You don't want that to happen. So it's a balance, okay? That's why we appoint a CISO and give him a lot of salary, because it's not a simple job. It is a job of balancing security versus practicability, all right? Practicality. If too much security, nobody can move in the organization. Too little security, data get lost. So we have to really study the balance and make sure that we continually adjust the way we handle cybersecurity.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you. I absolutely agree with you. This one, it's a continuous learning process. Most of the time, business leaders thinking that, okay, I just implemented a cloud, I put some money into it, I installed an antivirus, I'm done, I'm good, I'm safe, and that is where you already are tricks, because you have a wrong mindset. Because it's a continuous improvement process. It have to be continuously developed and continuously improved your different measurement, because things are getting better. Like, so the hackers getting better too. The new approaches is coming as well too. New way of hacking, information spooning, and all things are coming forward. So you need to be constantly improving that one too. So if you have any other further questions, send it to us. We'll love to have any questions. If you have any particular questions, go ahead and comment below in the thread. We'll love to answer you there. If you have any particular tips you want to share to our viewers, go ahead and comment too as well. We'll love to interact with you. And with that, today I want to wrap it up. Today is our live show about cybersecurity for business for 2020. Thank you, Alex, very much for being with us and sharing your all thoughts. Really, really appreciate it. And we'll love to have you back again soon.
Thank you very much. See you soon.
See you soon. Bye-bye.